Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Ganganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. This work that we are going to talk about is one of the most sacred dialogues because it happens between two enlightened beings. One is Ashtavakra, the other is King Janaka, which was Ashtavakra's disciple. So in it you will have a glimpse of the instruction of an enlightened being so that you can achieve liberation, and also the vision of how a liberated being stands, acts, what is his experience. So pay attention to these teachings, fill your heart with surrender, devotion, sacredness, because that is the way to enjoy it the most. May it blossom in your heart. May you also find liberation. Moving on, first chapter, verse 18. Know that which has form to be unreal, and the formless to be permanent. Through this spiritual instruction, you will escape the possibility of rebirth. So, this is a very huge verse because it says that know that which has form to be unreal. What is that which has form? Everything which is perceivable by the senses and the mind. And what is perceivable by the senses and the mind? So whatever can be touched, seen, listened to, tasted, smelled. So this body is perceivable by the five senses, not real. This universe is perceivable by the five senses, or if whatever is there that is even perceived by one sense alone, not real. That which is perceived by the mind, not real. So what has form is that which is perceivable through the senses. That which is not perceivable through the senses or through the mind, it doesn't hold a concrete form to us. It is abstract, inconceivable, unperceivable. Unperceivable, yeah, I think it's correct. So whatever you can relate a form to, perceive a form to, of any kind, of any of these five senses, or through the mind, it is unreal. And the formless, that which is abstract for you, that is the permanent. Permanent in the sense that never changes, the only reality. So by this verse, this is a key verse that brings that outlook to what you call yourself, body, mind, to the universe, and to focus on the only reality. Even if you cannot grasp yet the ultimate reality because it is too abstract? Well, you can grasp illusion, which is concrete in some form for you, which has some form for you. And knowing that to be unreal, you can abstract from it. Why should I waste my time with something that I know it's not real? Despite the fact that it seems to be real, that it is affirming its reality, that it is demanding the recognition of its reality. So, by not knowing what is real, in a sense, because it is abstract, what is formless? What has no form? What is not perceivable? Well, but I know what's perceivable, what appears to have form. And I know that's illusion. And the formless, that which I cannot conceive yet, that which is beyond sense perception, beyond mental perception, that is to be the permanent. So by abstracting from illusion, I tune more and more with reality, because in this abstraction from illusion, it starts to lose its grip over my mind, over perception. So this is a very big key, because all individual perception is not conditioned, also conditioned, but the basis of it is the belief which is born through experience, through perception. And this is only possible through the senses, through the mind, directly. And this key puts all of this in the same package. All is unreal. So it's like saying what is concrete to you is actually abstract, and what is abstract for you is actually concrete. When he says for you, for this illusory individual self, which is perceivable. You can perceive the body, you can perceive the thoughts, the mind, the emotions. All of these things can be perceived. Universe can be perceived. Not only this gross one, but by comparison, others that are more subtle, they can be perceived in any way. If it's not through physical senses, it is through the astral senses. It is perception. So it is not reality. So through this spiritual instruction, you will escape the possibility of rebirth, because only that which takes birth can have rebirth. And that which takes birth is perceivable, has a form. And only that can take rebirth. But if that is seen as unreal, and the attitude, the actions support this vision, then no more rebirth is possible. Just as a mirror exists within and without the image reflected in it, so the Supreme Self exists inside and outside this body. So the image in the mirror, it has no real substance, only the mirror exists. The image is just an appearance. It has no concrete form. So this individual self and this universe where this individual self appears to be, they are one and the same, they are not separate. Your vision of separateness from the universe, it is based on reality, twisted through illusion. But here is giving the comparison using this metaphor of the reflected image in the mirror. As for this reflected image, this individual self and the universe, the perceivable universe, and the self as the mirror. So the image is superimposed on the mirror, and it doesn't occupy all the mirror, and exists in that mirror. But in reality, only the mirror exists, the rest is just illusion. So similarly, only the self exists. You tend to look at form because form recognizes form. But it is the formless, that which is beyond sense perception and mental perception. That's the only reality. And that is pure consciousness alone, pure identity. Just as the same all-pervading space is inside and outside the jar, so the eternal, all-pervasive Brahman exists in all things. So again, comparison with the space, the element of space, ether, that is, or even the space itself, inside and outside a jar, is the same. So the eternal, all-pervasive Brahman exists in all things, inside and outside. Again, these are different examples of the same principle. It's like saying, by one side, look, that vision of the snake in the rope. The snake only exists in the rope. The rope pervades the inside and outside the snake. But as in reality, there is no snake. It's just a visual illusion. But in this case, what you call reality is a sense illusion and a mental illusion. Ultimately, a mental illusion, because senses are tools of perception of the mind. And the mind can perceive objects directly. So it is a mental illusion. As the snake is a mental illusion that is being seen on the rope there, but it really doesn't exist. So for one way, we can say that the rope exists outside and inside that snake, because without that rope, there's no snake. But in reality, you are recognizing something that doesn't really exist. Only the rope exists. And that can be visible. And when it is visible, the rope, the snake disappears. That vision disappears. That illusion disappears. And the existence was only of the illusion, not of the snake itself. So this is what it is hinting. And this ends the first chapter, Instruction on Self-Realization. So this instruction of self-realization is a very good one, the basics, the basis, but in an advanced mode, without that structure that we are used to, and which is very important. Okay.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.